Wild boars, a non-native wildlife species, have become a serious nuisance in Canada, threatening the balance of the local ecosystem and causing significant economic damage. Initially introduced as livestock and for European-style hunting in the 1980s and 1990s, wild boars quickly became feral and began reproducing uncontrollably. Their high reproductive capability, combined with the absence of natural predators in these new environments, has allowed them to thrive and spread across the provinces of Canada. More alarmingly, their presence not only destroys the habitat of many native plant and animal species, but also hinders agricultural activities by damaging crops and posing biosecurity issues. This article will explore the origins, impacts, and measures Canada is taking to address this problem. In today's video, we will witness how brave hunters in Canada deal with an increasingly challenging issue: the booming wild pig population. Using sophisticated traps, they not only protect the environment, but also maintain ecological balance. Join us to see how effective these tactics are and what makes them essential in this relentless battle. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for Nature Farm channel and the notification bell so you won't miss any episodes. Now, let's start our journey of exploration. In the fall of 2023, Canada's agricultural sector reported a concerning phenomenon in the cornfields: the invasion of wild boars. These wild animals caused severe damage to an area of 80 acres of corn, with total losses estimated at $20,000. The destructive power of the wild boars was described as extremely terrifying, to the extent that it triggered unprecedented riots within the local farming community. Known for their keen sense of smell, wild boars can detect the scent of corn from a distance and systematically target it. They move in groups, typically ranging from 10 to 20 individuals, which increases the level of damage. For wild boars, corn is not only a primary source of energy and nutrition, it also provides an ideal shelter, especially within the dense corn thickets, where they often approach from the inside rather than from the outside. In this context, the use of traps has proven to be the most effective measure to minimize economic losses in agriculture. The traps, including steel cage traps, are designed to suit the unique terrain of the area, safely capturing large numbers of wild boars, from 25 to 40 individuals, weighing between 113 and 136 kilograms each. These wild boars typically forage at night, and hunters have used corn, their preferred food, as bait to lure them into traps. Once a wild boar steps into a trap to eat the bait, other individuals in the group will continue to follow, even if they initially detect something unusual. Once they feel safe, they will return to the trap, thereby helping farmers protect their crops and minimize damage. In wildlife research and management, using cage traps is an effective method to control the population of wild boars, especially within the context of environmental conservation and sustainable development in agriculture. When a wild boar enters the trap, an automatic mechanism is triggered, closing the door and often causing the animal to panic, attempting to break out. In such situations, it is essential for participants to maintain a safe distance to avoid the risk of attack. Large traps are typically placed in strategic locations where wild boars frequently appear, such as along trails, near cornfields, and natural water sources. The main goal of setting traps is to minimize the negative impact of wild boars on the environment and agriculture by controlling their numbers humanely. According to statistics from the Canadian Centre for Disease Control and Prevention, about 2 million wild boars are captured annually using traps. This figure demonstrates the effectiveness of cage traps in controlling and managing wild boars. The wild boar hunting season in Canada lasts from October to March of the following year, and hunting licenses are generally issued to individuals aged 18 and older. Before hunting, hunters must thoroughly check their licenses and traps to ensure everything is used legally and to avoid potential errors during government inspections. Trap preparation requires carefulness and meticulousness. Hunters need to prepare materials such as steel traps, steel wires, steel stakes, nails, and pliers. The process of installing wild boar traps can take from 4 to 5 hours or even a full day, depending on the size of the trap and the number of participants. To save time and ensure safety, this installation process is usually carried out during the day, as daylight conditions allow hunters to observe and adjust the traps more safely than at night. Setting bait to attract wild boars into the trap is a meticulous process that requires thorough preparation. Hunters need to prepare ingredients such as flour, molasses, sugar, corn, water, and yeast, then combine them in appropriate proportions to create an attractive mixture known as wild boar bait. Using this method has shown to increase the capture rate of wild boars by about 30% compared to other traditional methods. In a conversation with Canadian farmers, they shared about their most successful wild boar hunting day on September 10, 2023. On that day, a group of hunters captured 83 wild boars within 24 hours. This success not only brought them joy, but also helped reduce economic damages in agriculture, estimated at about 30%. That season, the wild boars could not escape the iron traps, which were designed with a sturdy structure and made of durable steel to ensure long-term durability. This made it difficult for the boars to escape. Hunters needed to regularly check the traps to avoid situations where the caught boars were not processed. The process of collecting wild boars not only helps Canadian authorities control their numbers, but also facilitates the implementation of appropriate handling measures. After successful trapping, the hunters proceeded to collect and inspect each trap to ensure all wild boars were completely gathered. They were then transported to a collection area for processing according to local government regulations. During the collection, the boars were arranged in cargo trucks carrying 10 to 20 animals each. When catching young wild boars, they were usually placed in separate iron cages for transport, ensuring human safety. For young wild boars, the Canadian government conducts sterilization to prevent their reproduction and growth. Hunters should not go alone when hunting wild boars, as it can be very dangerous. Panicked wild boars may attack the hunters. For safety, hunters should go in groups of 2 to 3 people to support each other in emergencies. They need to maintain a safe distance and not get too close to the traps, as wild boars can attack and pose a danger to hunters. Canadians have devised another effective type of trap for dealing with wild boars, which is a rectangular box trap. This trap uses a spring-activated door and designs a pedal to activate the trap. Necessary materials include iron bars and mesh sheets around. The design process includes cutting and assembling angular iron pieces to create the upper, lower, and door frames. The door is designed with appropriate height and width, combined with a hinge door and a pressure activation mechanism through a steel plate connected to a cable. The rectangular box trap is an effective tool for trapping wild boars in various terrains, with a simple but effective design, suitable for installation in forest and grassland areas. Installing these traps at strategic points helps authorities control the situation to some extent. Each hunting season, the number of wild boars has decreased by 10% to 30%. Additionally, Canadians also use smaller rectangular box traps, about 1/3 the size of the large rectangular iron cage traps. Despite being smaller, this type of trap is still very effective, capable of catching 4 to 7 wild boars, including adult and young boars. This trap has many advantages, helping hunters save time and effort during installation and transportation. The compact size of the rectangular box trap makes it easier to move and install. The pressure from wild boars has brought many benefits to farmers, helping them increase agricultural output without worrying about wild boar attacks, improving income and living standards. Moreover, reducing the threat from wild boars also benefits the environment, protecting biodiversity and balancing the ecosystem. However, some Canadians oppose the use of traps to deal with wild boars due to concerns about the humanity and safety of this method. According to a 2019 survey, 36% of Canadians believe that the use of animal traps should be banned or further restricted. Some communities think that using traps can cause pain and harm to wild boars, violating standards of humane treatment of animals. They are also concerned about the risk of accidentally trapping other animal species. Due to these concerns, some people are calling for the use of alternative, more friendly, and safer wild boar management methods. However, the use of traps to deal with wild boars has proven effective and convenient in managing their numbers, protecting crops, and the property of the Canadian people. In the next installment of the video series we are following, a Canadian farmer encountered a regrettable incident when his farm was attacked by a pack of ferocious wild boars, causing severe damage. This event is narrated by Mr. Jackson, who owns a farm in a province in Canada. Early in the morning, Mr. Jackson discovered huge wild boar tracks on his cultivated land, raising concerns about the safety of his family and the agricultural activities at the farm. He quickly reported this alarming occurrence to the local authorities. According to him, a particularly aggressive group of wild boars emerged from the nearby forest and swiftly caused damage. They destroyed the protective fencing, invaded the farm area, and devastated the agricultural fields. Wild boars, known for their astonishing ability to run at speeds up to 40 kilometers per h, make controlling them extremely challenging. This unexpected attack has left Mr. Jackson very worried. He estimates that the damage caused by the wild boars could amount to thousands of dollars. The intrusion of wild boars into agricultural areas is becoming a serious issue in many regions of Canada, posing significant challenges to the livestock and crop farming sectors. The local authorities are making efforts to implement control and eradication measures to address this situation. However, managing and controlling the wild boar population remains a considerable challenge, requiring close coordination among government agencies, ecological experts, and the farming community to minimize the adverse impact on agriculture and ensure food security. In a recent national survey, it was recorded that wild boars have spread rapidly across Canada at a growth rate of up to 9 kilometers per year from the late 1990s to early 2019. This robust growth is primarily due to their exceptional fertility, with each litter typically producing between 4 and 12 piglets. Professor Tan Brook of the College of Agriculture and Bioresources at Soc Chan University, in a 2020